Donald Trump on Thursday signed another extension that keeps TikTok, you may have heard of it, alive in the United States all the way through September 17th. Now, he announced this, as he announces most things, via True Social, the social media platform that he owns. He said this: "I've just signed the executive order extending the deadline for the TikTok closing for 90 days. Thank you for your attention to this matter." I always think the "thank you for your attention to this matter," which he says a lot now, it reminds me of my junior high school principal when he'd like come on the loudspeaker during homeroom and he would say like, "Please stop flushing things, your shoes down the toilet. It is blocking up the toilets. Thank you for your attention to this matter." That's what that reminds me of. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so this is, for people following this, the third time since he's been president that Donald Trump has extended TikTok's life in the United States. And I want to go through how we got here. Now, go way back. Start in 2016. Donald Trump was the president of the United States. He, like many Republicans and even plenty of Democrats, viewed TikTok as a potential national security concern or threat because the company that owns TikTok, ByteDance, is based in China. Now, ByteDance insists that it is not affiliated with the Chinese government, but the Chinese it's an authoritarian regime. They control pretty much everything there. It's hard to imagine they don't have some control over ByteDance. And lawmakers, including Donald Trump when he was president the first time around, said, well, it's not a good thing that a Chinese-owned company has access to all of this data about hundreds of millions of Americans. They could use this in a cyber warfare way or in tons of other ways. We need to get this company sold. So Trump was in favor of that. Now, Trump loses in 2020, but the movement to ban TikTok in the U.S. continues. And in April, the spring of 2024, actually, we start to get votes. The House votes to ban TikTok by a vote, this is in March of 2024, by a vote of 352 to 65. The next month, it goes to the Senate. The Senate votes to ban TikTok 79-18. Now, I will note that this ban in both the House and Senate was attached to other legislation, so it wasn't just a straight up or down vote on banning TikTok, but lawmakers knew what was in the bill. They knew it would ban TikTok, etc. So once the Senate approves the TikTok ban, it goes to the desk of Joe Biden, who had said he would sign it prior to this, and he signs it. Okay. Therefore, they give TikTok 180 days to ByteDance sell to an American-owned company or be banned, essentially be deplatformed from all app stores operating in the United States. Okay? So you would think pretty definitive, right? Wrong. And I'll get to the rest of the story in one sec. I want to make one quick ask of you. Become a subscriber to this newsletter. I am independent. I'm an independent news creator. I don't take orders from big billionaires. I don't take orders from big media conglomerates. I don't take orders from Democrats, and I don't take orders from Republicans. I take orders from me and you all. I am sure you are my boss. You are my owner. You are the one supporting a guy calling balls and strikes no matter what uniform the batter at the plate is wearing. And I need you to hit that subscribe button so I can continue doing what I think is critically important work. Okay, so let's pick the story back up. We're in the spring of 2024. TikTok has been given 180 days by Congress and the President of the United States to divest, to basically sell from this Chinese-based company, ByteDance, to an American-owned company or be banned off of U.S. app platforms. TikTok, as you would expect, appeals this ruling. And on January 17th, so virtually the end of the Biden presidency, and we are nearing the start of the Trump presidency, January 17th, the Supreme Court rules unanimously, 9-0, that the TikTok ban should be upheld and can be upheld. Okay. So just as a reminder, 352 House members voted for this ban. 79 U.S. senators voted for this ban. 9 Supreme Court justices upheld this ban, and 0 said it shouldn't be upheld. Okay. Fast forward 72 hours to January 20th, 2025. Donald Trump becomes president. Donald Trump, on his first day in office, issues lots of executive orders. You're probably familiar with that if you follow politics. One of which said, we're not going to shut TikTok down in the U.S. We're going to give them 90 days to effectuate a sale to an American-owned company. Now, TikTok did go down in the US for about 8 to 12 hours, but it came quickly back. They posted a message. Thank you so much, TikTok. Posted it. Thank you so much, Donald Trump, for saving TikTok. Donald Trump gets all these plaudits. Okay. So there's a 90-day extension on it. Well, that 90-day extension lasts until April. But there's still no deal. So Donald Trump extends it again because they think they're about to get a deal. But what happened in April? Well, Donald Trump put a bunch of very onerous tariffs on China, and China backed out of the deal that they thought they were making with ByteDance, which, by the way, suggests that the idea that ByteDance is this independent company that has nothing to do with the Chinese government makes that a little dicey. Okay, and now Trump has just extended this again. Now, here's the thing. It's not clear at all to me. In fact, it's pretty clear to me that this is illegal, what Donald Trump is doing, because the Congress passed this law. The President of the United States signed it into law. The Supreme Court upheld it. It does not seem to me that you can just by executive order say we're not going to enforce it because it's a law. I mean, it seems strange, right, that that's the case. But this gets to sort of a broader point about Donald Trump I want to make. We have always assumed that there's pretty strict boundaries and laws that regulate how a president can act and what he can do in office. But in truth, most of those things are sort of parameters and accepted behaviors because no past president has done some of these things. It's not actually law. So is it illegal for Donald Trump to just keep ignoring a law that was signed and passed by Congress, signed by the president, and upheld by the Supreme Court? Well, the question is, who is going to challenge the legality of him doing this? And the answer to date has been no one. So it winds up in this gray area that so much of Donald Trump's actions in his first 6 months have wound up in, where, okay, no president has ever tried doing something like this before, so we don't actually know if it's illegal. We think it is, but it's just never been done before, and therefore we don't know for sure. And this very much falls into that category. Now, why does Donald Trump keep giving TikTok a new lease on life, or at least 90 days to make a deal, even though in his first term, he was in support of a ban on TikTok because of national security concerns? Well, the answer, as always, is politics. Let me read you this quote. This is from a press conference he did in December 2024, sort of a victory lap press conference. He said, "I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok. TikTok had an impact," talking about the 2024 election. Now, what he means there is that he did far better, particularly among young men, 18 to 29-year-old men, than he had done in 2020 or 2016, or that any modern Republican candidate had done. Obviously, TikTok, lots of people look at it, but it skews young. And his belief was, why am I going to take away something that the young people like? I guess the national security risk kind of went out the window. And look, people do like it. It has 170 million US users on TikTok. It created in 2024 alone $10 billion in revenue in the United States. So he has political and financial reasons not to ban TikTok because people will get pissed off. There are businesses that are dependent on the US. It's a huge revenue stream. At the same time, the national security concerns certainly haven't gone away. ByteDance, this Chinese-owned company, still owns it. And more importantly, Congress passed, I know I'm a broken record, but Congress passed a law that was signed into law by President Joe Biden and upheld by the Supreme Court unanimously that this ban needed to go into effect. And yet Donald Trump is just like, I signed an executive order, just ignore it. It's fine. We'll make a deal. Well, this is the third 90-day window that he's created. How long is this going to go on for? To me, and you've seen some of this on social media, conservatives, Jonah Goldberg is one, who now works for the Dispatch. They're saying like, this is illegal. Here's what Jonah Goldberg said. There's nothing in the law or the Constitution that allows for this. Yes, that's exactly right. Like, it's not clear that Donald Trump can do this. But again, he is going to do everything he can until someone says he can't. And that's where we are right now. So until this gets challenged in court, in a real way, in a fulsome way, he's going to keep doing these extensions, even though I think on the merits, they're illegal. Let me just go back to scrolling TikTok. Okay, a couple things. One, you can subscribe to this channel. I hope you do. As I said before, independent from big media, independent from the two parties. I hope you like and comment on this video, not just because I'm building the community, because it helps this content get out to people who aren't already subscribers. And I hope you tell a few people. Word of mouth matters. Be an evangelist for this channel. Independent news creators. Now more than ever, we need them, but we need your support. All right, everyone. Take care.